Hey guys, this is Bad Benny and welcome back to the Method HOTS YouTube channel. Today I'll be doing another replay analysis. This one's actually sent in to me by a sub of mine, the one and only gas god Teddy, so I already know it's gonna be a good one. Let's get into the video, shall we? Alright, so starting off this game, if we're looking at the drafts, here we have Teddy on his account Feisty, I think that's how you pronounce it, playing his main, the Gaslow. As a disclaimer for it, I have no idea what rank these guys are. Actually, I have no clue. Probably around like gold, maybe. But I'll try to give you my 2 cents of it anyway. So the first thing I want to point out is the drafts. I would say, like hands down, that the red team has the better draft. They have a strong solo laner, a decent main tank, although Mal'Ganis suffers quite a bit against this amount of CC, and like good range to wave clear, and another like good range to kill people pretty much. And Taran is one of the best supports right now. So on the blue side, actually I'll keep pausing for now. So on the blue side you have 2 tanks, Gaslow, range support. So a common draft to play in the current meta is you have a triple melee setup with a solo range, which you have here, a support, and Gaslow counts as like one of the melees. The thing that bothers me here is that they have 2 main tanks. Like Anub is going to the solo lane. Problem there is that both of these heroes are terrible solo laners, and I don't think they should be drafted as solo laners ever. I want to point out that solo laners like this, like if you put at the main tank solo lane, you will suffer greatly in the early game. But if the game level is not high enough, like you can get away with it. Let's see if it happens this whole game. But what should happen, if the teams play it as they should pretty much, then Yrel, Genji will make sure they win the top lane. And then they can rotate down as 5, while Anub has to soak every wave in towers because he has subpar wave clear and can't really roam. While in teamfights later, if they get to have even teamfights, then the Anub pick is fine. Like he has CC and he has okay damage, but I just want to put that out there instantly, that you don't really want to have like a main tank solo lane, and you should try to look up like what's meta right now through sites such as HOTS logs, and look at what talents and like what heroes should be picked. Also, you can look at pro games and see what they play and try to adapt to that. It's very helpful. I'm gonna start this now and try to commentate a bit what I see. So, since the blue team has 1 top already and he shows, this means that the red team see he's top. So the red team knows they are 5 versus 4 here, which makes it so they engage a little bit, but they can't really get anything done. It's something you have to care for if you're the blue team though. If your one guy shows on the minions here, the enemy team knows they are 5 versus 4, and then they can play extremely aggressive and not get punished for it. I think this is well played by the blue team, even though they died here, but putting one guy mid to clear and going free bot here. Generally you never want to roam as 4 as they do here. Like, as you can see, they are losing quite a bit of XP, and even though they got 1 kill, I'm gonna pause this after these minions are soaked. Okay. So top lane is pretty even, but oh wait, you can't actually see this. Anyway, so in game normally you can hover here and you can see how much XP you gain from mercenaries and heroes. I can't really like calculate this here, but I think even though the red team got a kill, I don't think they're ahead by much in experience, as you can see on the bar, because they missed like the entire mid wave. And that's the downside of roaming as 4. Like you will most likely miss a lot of a minion experience compared to having like 1 guy and 3 guys as they had here. So if this was played well, like the Genji shouldn't show here, and the Genji should probably like move to push with this wave. If Yrel and Genji push with this wave together, they can take a tower at least, if not more. So a noob can't deal with it. Uriel probably doesn't have to be safe because I think she saw all the enemy team. So he can play. Uriel should like be trying to take towers here. She can't really get ganked by the enemy team. They don't really have kill potential. Unless like it's multiple people, but all of the blue team are showing on the minion waves. So this is like, even though Uriel is a way stronger laner than an Urbrack, the way she plays it makes it so that they don't get punished for picking a noob solo lane. Also, one thing I want to highlight is it's been 2 minutes into the game already, and neither team has done a single camp, while they both have pretty good drafts to just do the camps. And you can see the red team and the blue team are kind of moving as 4 right now, both of them. Which is something you kind of want to prevent. That's why splitting 1 and 3 is usually better. So, after the red team clear the wave here, they don't need 4 people to clear this wave. It's completely enough that like only Mal'Ganis goes here. He doesn't even have to show. He just stands in the bush and watch the minion die. Meanwhile, the other 3 either do this camp or go for the hard camp. Probably the hard camp is the better choice since the next shrine is bot side. So the hard camp will have a lot of value. It seems like the blue team wants to move for it. Yeah. So this hard camp is a bit late. At this point, I don't think they should do it, but they go for it anyway. This is okay, but the main importance is that they start the shrine instantly and try to get ahead. So the shrine could have been active for 10 seconds already, and they could have had like a 10-minute skull lead, but they're not really capping it. So they should have utilized that the blue team was nowhere close to get ahead on the shrine here. Right now they could have had at least like, they should have had 10 more than they have. But they should have 22 right now. Let's see if it makes a difference. Pretty good engaged by the blue team here. So the red team position kind of overextended since Uriel wasn't close to help them. They should probably play it a bit more safe, and generally you want to play it from the bottom side here if the enemy team has a lot of AoE. Both sides are like small chokes, but the bottom side opens up wider and it's easier to play around. Or you split on both sides, but it's a bit scary to split versus something like a noob. Looks like a brawl. The blue team got a good engage, but the red team counter engaged pretty well. One thing to notice is Jaina has like no mana. Which should, if this is communicated properly, then after zoning them back, the red team should back out now and look for minions instead. Seems like they chased in way too deep though. Oh, and they got a really good, the blue team got a good gravel bomb off to stun both backliners and almost kill Jaina. So, if this was played better before by like instantly doing the shrine, there would be like 33 minions right now. And I think some players, like, if they saw they were at 33, they would just focus the shrine more instead of like diving in here. So I think it would have made a huge difference, that single move, that they didn't insta-cap it, and that they soaked the waves as 4 instead of like soaking with 1, doing the camp earlier, and then instantly doing the shrine, instead of soaking the wave as 4, doing the camp as 4, soaking the wave as 4, and then camping. So it's about efficiency. Right now you can see that the blue team got a... Actually this camp clears itself. Sometimes it gets a lot of value, sometimes it just dies. It's pretty unfortunate that it died for them, because it would have taken like the whole wall and maybe some more if it didn't die. Since the blue team is nowhere close to react to it. I mean the red team. Seems like the blue team gets this shrine though. Anub splits off the soak. Another thing I want to point out with this draft is that Ufer is not really that strong of a hero or a pick, but somehow it feels like they don't lack sustain here. I think they should get out sustained by this draft. Not that they have like a lot of poke, but they should have good enough, and they should try to play around the Ufer cooldowns. I would probably recommend picking another support, even though it's working so far this game. Also, I think the W build is actually pretty good when they're that melee heavy and everyone stacks up. This is a good split by the blue team, going 3 people bot. I would really prefer a noob going as the main tank and Johanna splitting off the soak, because Johanna's war may clear, and a noob is better at pushing, since he can dive in, provide more CC. They got the wall here, and they got the soak of all lanes, which makes them 1 level ahead right now. This is a huge wave that the red team is not soaking. I think they... Okay, so it's still pretty huge. I think the blue team should try to position around this more aggressively. I don't think they can get punished by the red team if they do so. Instead they just let them run past, which... maybe it's not a huge deal, but I think they could have like taken the wall, because by pushing here, the blue team were positioned here and the red team were positioned here. Meanwhile, Phoenix pushed out mid. So if the blue team, after taking the wall, all 3 of them runs straight here, Gaslow maybe puts some turrets down here, and then they attack the wall as 3, Johanna zones in this choke, where the red team will probably move, and then they just get this wall for free as well. And if the red team tries to force into it, I think they get a really bad fight. Because Gaslow has good turrets here, Ufer has like good choke for his W and stuff, and Johanna zones really well. And if the red team chooses not to go through here, they lose the entire wave and the wall. So those kind of rotations is pretty important, knowing when you have the lane advantage. For example, communication there should be that Phoenix is saying that I'm pushing out mid guys, we can take the wall here. Then the rest of the team is like, okay, we're gonna be there before the red team. And then they walk up. The tank should look to zone, because the tank doesn't do as much damage here, and it's also the safest hero if the enemy 4 heroes try to force their way in. Also in this case, Johanna with the Condemned provides a lot of disruption. It's knowing who should do what in this situation that can make the difference. If they try to zone with like Phoenix or Gaslow, they might get CC'd and one shot. Probably not versus Ufer, but it will be a worse fight. So it's important to like Johanna goes here and not out attacks the wall, which a lot of people might do. Right, they're going for double camp. The red team shows as 4 people mid. I said it before, but I can point it out again. Like, if you don't have to show, you shouldn't show with heroes. Like, to clear this wave, Jaina only needed to show. The remaining 3 could hide in bushes and be ready if the enemy team faces. Because we have a fight. Pretty good engaged by the red team. The Ufer heals kept everyone alive here somehow. I guess he got the armor off, and then again you couldn't finish him off through it. The red team stole the camp though. So now I think it's the first time where the Jaina is solo clearing away. This is a bit better. I don't know if they're doing it intentionally though. Like, one guy stays to kind of soak a bit, one guy soaks and 2 does the camp. I like this a bit more, although Jaina should probably help with the camp and like Mal'Ganis should soak the wave. So far, the top lane has had no value so far, even though, like, for the first 10 levels at least, then Yrel should have a huge advantage, probably take the wall and maybe even like the fort in a one-on-one situation, but either she's too scared to do it, or she doesn't really know how to play her hero to the full potential, because a noob can't really do anything to her. Like, he can't do any damage to her because she heals up too much, and she can literally just out-attack the towers in every single wave. That's wave is tanking. Seems like both teams are gonna be level 10 for the next objective. Blue team's pushing out the bot lane, which is good. That means the enemy team will either lose this wave or be slower at rotating. Although they didn't need to be 4 here, like they missed some minions here. Johanna probably could have taken this, or someone else. Red team got the hard camp in time though, which is good. The blue team shouldn't go for this now, it's way too late. They should just move on the objective instantly. Clearing this wave is a mistake, I would say. It doesn't, like, at this point, the extra XP of this doesn't give enough value for losing the start of the shrine. Here again, the red team will probably have a 20 minion lead, as the blue team has to deal with the camp here. This position, like, the red team has such a huge advantage here, but they all position in on the shrine with squish heroes. I don't think you should ever do this. It is a very bad position to have your Tyrant and Jaina. Like, Uriel Mal'Ganis could be around, but the ideal setup would be that Tyrant Jaina stands like around here, outside the shrine. Mal'Ganis covers the bush, as a main tank should, and Uriel and Genji focuses on getting shrine, but both of them are pretty safe if they get engaged upon. Meanwhile, what I think is gonna happen is that these heroes are gonna get engaged on, and there's no way they can get out. Let's see though. Yeah, here it is. Johanna gets like condemned. Anub gets engaged. Less shield. Wait, they have Divine Storm. Oh well. Gaslow's clapping them. Divine Storm stunning 2 people. And then this salvo just destroying them. They only got 1 kill though, but if you think about it, like, if they were in a safer position, maybe they wouldn't get 26, but they would still have like 20 minions if Jaina and Tyrant stayed a bit more safe. So they would have like half the shrine already, and there's no way the enemy team can like dive them under the wall. This is the only way the backliners die. And if they're still 5 versus 5, the enemy team engages, they don't get kills, then I think the red team has like a huge advantage because they have better sustain and probably better like shrine in general. But let's see if they... I don't think Jaina is in time to contest this, so either the red team should either just try to engage fast, try to do something while all ultimates are down, or they should like split away, because now they've been AFK with 4 heroes. All 4 of these heroes have done nothing for the past 30 seconds. They're starting to run it down now, but the blue team already has the objective pretty much. Again, I guess so. But it's a 1-for-1 so far, and the blue team still gets the objective. This seems pretty dead as well. That guy's not getting anywhere. So that's something you wanna do. Like, as soon as one guy dies, you should instantly split to clear waves. If you do this, the enemy team will either lose, like, as much as they can lose, or they will send someone to soak it. If they send someone to soak it, you can actually have a 4v4 again, even though you're dead with 1. By forcing the enemy team to soak away with 1 hero, you will have an equal number fight on the shrine. And that's making value of the time you have, instead of being AFK when one of your teammates are dead. This is oil thing. I didn't intentionally promote this, but I guess buy some oil. Again, I would rather see like when the shrine is won, the Anub should always push and the Johanna should always split, because Johanna clears waves way better and Anub has way better like kill potential and peel potential with Cocoon and such. On the Shra, or when they're pushing with objective. Seems like they managed to get yet another fort. This was really good by Johanna. He knew that the red team would rotate to try to defend, and he moved to this mountain with the blind. Probably made sure they got us, like if they didn't do that, the fort would be way healthier. Now it can get killed anytime and provide a huge XP boost. I thought they would go Divine Stone with like the gas, or Divine Shield with the gas though, so you could just clap them, but the Divine Storm makes some sense versus Genji, like Uriel Morgana's going deep, I guess. There's not really anyone he has to say with shield here. This is good. That like compare this to what I said before, that they clear as waves as 4. So Uffer running around mounted, like between lanes, is way more useful than him like going to out attack the minion wave, like the Taran did in previous occasions. Like this. Again, like only Jaina should clear this wave, and the other 3 should be ready somewhere. You're not gonna come back by just clearing a wave as 4 people. Getting the hard cam. Suddenly the blue team almost have a 3-level lead. Where did that come from? I thought they had like a 1-level lead recently. Oh well. I guess it's the fort and rotating better than the enemy team. So now they're gonna be 16 on the next objective, which forces the red team to either give it up or fight at a talent disadvantage. This is a good move by the red team, trying to hit the fight before the 16. See if it pays off. Oh, that was a really good counter engage by the Anubrak. The Mal'Ganis went in deep and the enemy team tried to follow. The Uffer healing though. Oh, and that's the Divine Storm on 2 heroes, ensuring the death of both. Bye. Does he have this binded to when he uses Divine Storm or something? But yeah, what happened here was that Mal'Ganis stretched in, the backliners tried to follow, and meanwhile Anubrak saw the opportunity to engage on both, cocoon someone, and then Phoenix just follows up with the big scan, and it's just sayonara pretty much. Like if the red team tries to win a fast fight with a one-shot, while they try to stretch to kill the guy, that's the perfect scenario for the blue team. Because Uffer can save anyone, pretty much, with the armor and his big heals. And they have so much CC and like counter-engage if the enemy team misposition. So now they get the shrine for free. I hope that this time they push us 5 at least, and not a noob goes to soak waves. And if someone goes to soak, it's Johanna. Seems like they're moving as 5. Thank God. At this point there's not too many moves for the red team to do, honestly. Like, talent down. Their only win condition here is that pull the Punisher in and hope that enemy team overextends and then they punish the guy that overextends. If they try to dive in, it's never gonna end well with the draft they have. Now they're grouping a lot and the Punisher will jump soon. Let's see if it... Okay, don't let them organize. Another goes in. Clear if... Okay, they got a really big scan. Holy crap. Well, I was about to say, here when Anu goes in like this, they can punish him. But if they got like a 4-man scan on Phoenix, so they couldn't really do much. They just had to run. And even if they ran, Jaina just died. So really good engage. I didn't think it would go that well for the Gaslow team, but I guess Gaslow is broken. You're right all along, Teddy. This is not the position you want to be in if you're the red team. Like, they had a way stronger early game, I would say. With having a favorable solo lane matchup. You have Genji. And yeah, pretty much like, I think better wave clear early game as well with the Jaina. So that she can solo wave clear and the other heroes can like look for kills and stuff. But the early game didn't pay off, and 3 objectives later, they are keep down and 3 levels behind. The blue team is going for this move since the red team showed bot with everyone, but I think this is correct by the red team trying to get the fight here. Although it's hard, as soon as Gaslow has his turret set up, yeah, he even has the slow. It's so annoying. Late game Gaslow, like, turrets are such a nuisance, and if you dive on him, he has like armor, move speed, and he does so much damage. Also, he creates bombs if he sees him. Huge bombs, actually. So the red team doesn't really have any kill targets at this point. They can only kill pretty much a noob if he dives in too deep, or like if someone runs it down, they can kill that guy, but they can't engage and kill anyone. If I was the red team now, I'd probably like, if they lose the next objective, which they will in any normal fight, I would try to like just split push and then maybe not show as 5, but you like push with some and then the others are ready in a bush, and then maybe the blue team will engage on the guys that are pushing, and then you can counter engage on Phoenix or something. Maybe if you get a sleep off on Ufer, you can kill someone really fast. They have to try something at least. Oh, this is a perfect setup. Oh wait, what is this? Oh my god, the big Gaslow bomb and the scan. Oh, that was such a combo actually. I'm gonna look at this again. So, the blue team has set up really well here. Look at it from their vision. The red team sees the Gaslow, I guess they're running on him. But you should never run like they do here with Tyrant first. I have no idea why they have vision of the Ufer. Wait, oh, he's not in the bush. Okay. I know why they have vision of the Ufer. Tyrant even has owl, so she should already throw her owl instead of walking up like this. Meanwhile the blue team, yeah, okay, as soon as they see this, like Tyrant is first, the blessed shield should instantly come. Like, this is super grief by them, like walking up with the support first. I gets rooted. Ufer sleeping actually, but it got procced instantly. And he got a, oh, the condemned was actually really big here. It pulled them closer. Somehow the Gaslow bomb, he could throw the Gaslow bomb that far. I didn't think the range was that far. But yeah, the condemned, a noob CC, a noob, oh, blessed shield. The scan is coming. Will the Gaslow bomb hit? Yeah, the Gaslow bomb hits free. Cocoon on Genji. Scan, just one-shotting them. And now it's just cleanup time. They get Jaina as well. Yeah, they get Jaina. Genji doesn't manage to kill anyone because Ufer OP. And they already ping for the end. They just go through the lane, I guess. Yeah, when you have like They have both Gaslo turrets and Anub beetles, so even if they didn't have any minions here, they could just like kill the small wall and just run through it. Like if they had this fight mid, they could just like kill the small wall, spawn beetles, place the turrets, and then run through and end. I think this is like there's no way they can't end here. Oh my god, the Gaslo damage. Look at his auto attack, 624. It's chunking that shit. Well, that's this game, I guess. Kinda, yeah. Alright, so I think I pointed out all the important things this game about the not clearing waves as 4, showing it one guy, the laning mismatch top, but it wasn't abused by the Ural and the red team at all. And then the way you wanna like do the shrine, you wanna get ahead when the enemy team is not there, and then not dive too deep. You don't wanna look for a quick fight versus Uther ever, unless they're completely mispositioned, or if you really have like CC that can displace the enemy team so the Uther can't reach with heals. Why is Gaslo looking at me like that? But yeah, like the game would have been entirely different if the red team just did some rotations different a bit in the early game here to not clear the wave as 4 and do their camp instantly and start the shrine instantly. And then when they had like the 20 lead, it was the same thing on the second shrine actually. When they had the lead, they position safely and then slowly fight for the remaining minions. When you have like 25 minions as they have here, it's almost impossible for the blue team to contest it and win the shrine without having to engage on a fight. While the red team, they could just sit back, relax, slowly steal some with Jaina, Iril, like Genji, and wait for the other team to engage, and then they can choose their fight. They can choose that the enemy team has to engage on the Iril, because the Iril is alone on the shrine, stealing minions, and when they do that, they can have a really good fight. But it showed that the blue team were the more experienced one, even though I think the red team's draft was better. And I haven't looked at builds actually. Can go through that real quick. So Iril has 2 builds right now, pretty much. Like you always take this talent, pretty much always take this talent, and then either you go the Steed or you go the Jump preset. I'm not sure which one's best this game. But yeah, if you go the Steed, you go for the Vindication thing, and if you go the Jump preset, you go for the Spell Power, I think. And then 13, you either go this or the Hammer that does like that marks people, or armor reduction. Both are pretty good. I'm not sure, maybe the Jump preset would get a lot of value, but it can also get cancelled by their CC, and if it gets cancelled, you don't get the cooldown reduction, which is pretty bad. I already see here, Taran should not pick this talent, the 7-1. The thing's called Light of Elune. Like it's green and you put it on an ally, and when you do damage, they get healed for that damage, or like, I don't know if it's 150% of that damage. It's really what you should pick every time on Taran. She has no other level 7 talent. And level 4 you usually go on the stun range, but the stun range isn't necessarily that good this game. I think this one is fine. Genji build is correct, I think. I think this is what you should go for. If you go X-Strike, you go for the Shingun. If you go Dragon Blade, you go for the cooldown reduction. And then maybe the other 16, I'm not sure. Jaina build is almost correct. You should go for the percentage damage here instead of the root if you go for this build. And then I think Ring would probably be way better versus this team comp. She can get huge rings to punish the enemy team when they like group up. Morganis. Actually, I had like a Morganis build. I always go block, and then I go this Chaos Form, and I take the red talent on 13, I don't remember the name, and I go this, and then ult upgrade. But I'm not sure if it's the best one, honestly. I think it would be good, but I don't think the Morganis talent matters too much this game. Gaslo, I have no idea what's better or not. I knew I see he goes W on 7 and 13, which I kind of dislike. I think he should take the E shield here when he played like he does. Like, I think it's more valuable. And then, yeah, if you go E-Shield, you don't go W here, obviously. The auto attack or the burning rage are both pretty good. Probably would go auto attack this game. Johanna's build is pretty good. I almost never take spinning hammer. I think spinning hammer is only used for providing vision. This late game, the damage is pretty insignificant. While the Q actually gives a lot of burst. The Q is actually really strong on 13, and the spinning hammer is only like to scout. Before you walk into something, you use the hammer and then it circulates and gives you vision. Phoenix build is pretty much correct. Some people take the purple W thing on level 1, but I don't know. I think both are completely fine. And then Ufer build is... I don't think Ufer is the best support this game anyway, but it kind of worked out since they won the early game. But they should have lost the early game, but they did it. They won it anyway. So, who am I to question this build, honestly? Anyway, I think that's all there is to this replay. Well, there it is. An analysis of the Gas God Teddy's Heroes Launch game. I hope you guys learned something from it. It was a fun experience analyzing it. I don't see Gas Gods that often. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe. Also, if you have any questions or think I missed something, feel free to comment down below. I am Bad Benny from the Method HOTS team, and you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at BadBennyHOTS. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.